Welcome to Brightened Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Vicky Parchimento. Here I'll be sharing you ways to brighten your mind and increase your inner joy and peace while living life beautifully within and emulating love to others and yourself. Brighten your mind to brighten your life and brighten your world. To see if I can talk about how to improve yourself and work on yourself rather than relying on others to change. Since that never works. It never works when you rely on things willing to change. Like, for example, if you're having an experience with a difficult person, are you relying on them to change? Or are you stepping back, looking at the situation and changing yourself? Are you expecting your environment to change? Or are you stepping back and saying, if I change, my environment will change? Are you relying on circumstances to change? And if they're not, then are you, again, stepping back and saying, what can I do to change? I want to share a story. A few years ago, I was going through a negative time in my life, and I didn't know about this concept of taking 100% responsibility of my own life, the circumstances, and people I attract into my life. It was from a book I read back in 2005 called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Powerful Lessons in Your Personal Life, in Your Personal Change. And the book is by Stephen Covey, and it's quite interesting. It was actually the first personal development book I read. And I remember in that book, it talked about taking 100% responsibility. To be honest, when I first read that, I was a bit annoyed because I started to think of all the things that happened in my life. And I said, no, I'm not taking responsibility for that. I'm not taking responsibility for that person, for that event. No, it's all their fault. And even though it took a while for me to really accept that, probably a few months later, but when I did start to take responsibility, things started to change. I started to attract more better people in my life. Events started to change, things started to work out to my ultimate advantage, and I just felt more peace. Like, I still felt that negative energy creeping up, but the moment I started taking 100% responsibility, I think in the beginning I was only taking 50% responsibility, but I eventually moved to 100%. At times, even right now, I can feel I'm not even taking 100% responsibility, but I am starting to more. And the help with my girlfriend, she reminds me. She's like, you got to take responsibility. This is what you put out. And sometimes you need someone like that in your life. So I'm so grateful for her. She reminds me that what I'm not doing, you gotta do it. So when I start taking 100% responsibility, things just magically change. That's why it's called the 5. Some people call it 5 to 10 seconds miracle, but I feel like it's 5 seconds because the moment you start to change things and take responsibility, things just turn around. Like I said, you start to attract the right people. You start to really feel you're in control of your life because you even, no matter if it's good or bad, you look at it and see, wow, I created this bad thing in my life. I'm going to right away turn around and create what I do want in my life. So this is one thing that it's not an overnight thing. Yes, you can have some moments in your life where you don't want to take any responsibility. I understand, but if you really do take the 100% responsibility, because it comes with the emotions you feel, the worry you feel, that's what you will get. That's why you're taking responsibility, because the emotions you emulate come back to you. That's why I always say, be grateful, because that will come back to you. Let's say, for example, you felt anxiety and something outside of you from another person caused you anxiety, even though it wasn't the first act of anxiety that you received was from them. It's because you're emulating that or sending the emotion out to the world and others, that a person will attract you who has anxiety, as opposed to someone feeling joy. You're going to start attracting people and events and situations that bring joy into your life. That's why it's always good. Like taking 100% responsibility is also being an indicator of how you feel. Like, what are you feeling in your life? And whatever you're feeling, is it attracting more and creating more in your life? So that's the one thing you want to keep like thinking about. And we're all in this world. We all have lessons to learn, journeys to go through. But as long as you're growing, that's all that matters. And you're doing the best that you can at that moment. So I just want to let you know if you had anything, to include in that. And, you can always comment below in this episode, or you can also check out my Instagram at brightenedmind.com, at brightenedmind, and also our Facebook. Just search the Brightened Mind Facebook page. So you come join the group there, and then we can talk about these things. I love hearing people's viewpoints, because at least I know that they're listening and they're doing the best that they can at that moment. So if you have anything else you want to include, just give me a call or contact me. Thanks. Thank you for listening to Brightened Mind Podcast. Please subscribe and listen to more ways to brighten your mind.